Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech and Auto Show. I'm your host Manav Sinha and it is so good to see all of you lovely people once again. In case you're new here, well, this is the Tech and Auto Show. It brings you the best of technology and automobiles at one place, and that means there's a lot of things that we have to cover in this episode. So let's kick things off right away by first showing you a glimpse of the things that is coming your way over the course of the next half an hour. This week, we will be listing down the top 5 electric vehicles that you can buy in India. Then we will be bringing you your weekly dose of our laptop review. And then we'll figure out just why Tesla is so special. So there you have it, all of that action and some more will be coming your way over the course of the next half an hour, but we're going to start off by talking about electric vehicles. You see, often they're called as the future of automobiles, but that's not entirely true because right now there are several electric vehicles that you can buy in the Indian market. And the technology has become so good that you can actually use these electric vehicles as your primary cars. So, if you're giving it a thought, here are the top 5 picks by Anirudh of the electric vehicles available in India right now.
Newsflash, global warming still exists and climate change is as real as the news of the biggest iceberg that recently broke off in Antarctica. Now, whether you like it or not, in the near future, our cars, yours and mine, will be electrified. Now, from where we're standing, that road is long, tiring and filled with a lot of obstacles, but we will get there because being more green and eco-friendly is the need of the hour. And the automakers around the world have grasped this concept and have come out with new innovative EV solutions for the market. In India, government is pushing for electric vehicles more than ever, but consumers are still on the fence about a few crucial aspects, which makes the market a little bit interesting. So we are here today to bring you up to speed about the electric vehicles in India, the top 5 of the ones which have one eye on the present and one on the future. So to start off the list with a homegrown manufacturer, the Tata Nexon Ev. Now there are a lot of reasons why you can choose the Tata Nexon Ev in a breath. For example, in a cost-conscious market like India, the Nexon is the cheapest electric SUV out there, which is about 6 to 7 lakhs more affordable than its next closest rival, the MG ZS EV. But that's not it.
The Tata Nexon EV gets a 30.2 kWh battery that promises a range of a little over 300 km on a single charge. The car comes with 2 driving modes, that is Drive and Sports, the latter of which gives you the complete power. Speaking of which, the car gets a permanent magnet synchronous motor at the front that delivers 129 PS of power and 245 Nm of torque. The Nexon EV can be charged with 15 ampere socket in about 8.5 hours. With a fast charger, this battery can be replenished to 80% in just 60 minutes.
Now, the ZS EV was MG's second product in India. It was launched in right about the time when MG was still making its name as a new entrant in our market, which meant it had to work a little bit extra to make its product stand out. And we were happy to report that the car did not disappoint us. It looks closely similar to its petrol-powered twin that is sold in the foreign markets and comes with a healthy powertrain as well.
The one motor on the ZS EV takes its juice from 44.5 kWh liquid-cooled lithium-ion battery. MG promises a maximum range of 340 km, which is a little bit higher than the Nexon EV. The motor puts out 143 bhp and 353 Nm of torque, which gets it from a standstill to 100 km per hour in just 8.5 seconds. The ZS EV also comes with 3 driving modes, that is Eco, Normal and Sport, that alters the throttle response and the power available to you. In terms of charging, MG has installed 50 kW DC fast chargers at its dealership. With this, the car can be charged up to 80% in 15 minutes. Additionally, the company will also fit a 7.4 kW AC home charger that will take around 6 to 8 hours to be fully charged.
Now, among the cars that we will speak of today, the Kona Electric came to India first. Now, Hyundai electrifying one of its most popular badges sold across the world must say something. Now, the SUV comes at a significant premium over the Nexon EV and the ZS EV, but it brings that much more on the table. Let's see what it is.
Starting with the battery, the Kona Electric gets a 39.2 kWh lithium-ion polymer battery, which according to Hyundai offers an ARAI claimed range of 452 kilometers. This clearly surpasses the range we have seen up until now. You get 4 driving modes including Eco Plus, Eco, Comfort and Sport.
And now we climb a few rungs up the ladder and come to the luxury segment of electric vehicles. All eyes on the Mercedes-Benz Eqc. Now, unlike the 3 products that we discussed before, the Eqc is not meant at wooing mass audience and bringing EV as an affordable product. The Eqc is instead aimed at being the pinnacle of everything that an EV has to offer to the consumers that buy it, and hence the price tag of 1.04 crore.
The Eqc gets a big 80 kWh battery pack and a single-speed gearbox that sends power to all the wheels through the Mercedes' 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. Mercedes claims an NEDC range of 450 km. The motors in the Eqc is capable of delivering 400 bhp and a whopping 760 Nm of torque. It comes with 4 driving modes, namely Eco, Comfort, Sport and Individual, and 4 levels of regeneration. With the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, you can toggle between these 5 settings that are D Auto, D, D+, D-, and D double-.
Now, I know looks are subjective, but I would say that the Jaguar I-Pace is the prettiest one in the list today. Now, it falls in the same ballpark as the Mercedes-Benz Eqc, coming in at Rs 1.06 crore ex-showroom. And here's what it has to offer.
Now, Jaguar claims a range of 470 km in a single charge from the 90 kWh lithium-ion battery that is placed under the floor. The car gets 2 synchronous motors at each axle, combining the output to 394 bhp and 696 Nm of torque. Jaguar claims that the battery can be charged up to 100% in 14 hours with a 7.4 kW AC charger. With a 24 kW DC charger, this can be done in just 4 hours. And guess what? With a 50 kW DC charger, this can be done in just 2 hours. In addition to this, Jaguar Land Rover customers will also be able to charge their I-Pace using Tata Power's Easy Charge network with over 200 charging points across the country.
Now let's move on to the world of technology and let's talk about laptops. You see, today there are several kinds of laptops across several price brackets, and every laptop has something different to offer. Well, we've got a new laptop for you this week. Vishal, as usual, is giving you his review of an interesting laptop up next. Take a look.
The more things change, the more they remain the same. We've often heard this, but really this fits like a glove for the new Msi Prestige 15 laptop. And here it is. This is the Msi Prestige 15 2021 edition. The biggest change is when we reviewed this series of laptops last year, the Msi Prestige 15 2020, it was a laptop which was aimed at the creators. This year, it's a completely different branding. This is now a pure thoroughbred business laptop aimed for business users, small and medium businesses as well as corporates. Does that really mean that a lot has changed with the Msi Prestige 15? The answer is the DNA remains pretty much the same, though there are subtle changes along the way, such as this new logo. The Msi Prestige 15 and its 2021 avatar is priced around the 1,16,000 price point, and that puts it in battle against the Dell's new Latitude 157520 laptop as well as the HP ZBook Firefly 15. Both of these cost a little bit more, around the 1,19,000 price point. And then there's the Lenovo ThinkPad P15s, which when configured with the same specs as the Msi Prestige 15 costs a lot more at 1,32,000 or whereabouts. Keeping in line with the new positioning from a creator-focused laptop to one for business users in boardrooms and conference calls, there are subtle design changes that become apparent soon enough. The MSI logo, for instance. Gone is the dragon, which now remains very much a part of their gaming laptop series. This particular laptop is dressed in the color called carbon grey, and while I'm absolutely no expert at color hues, I cannot but feel that there is a very gentle tint of blue at certain angles when light reflects off the lid or the keyboard deck. I cannot ignore the uncomfortable positioning of the USB-C ports, particularly the one for plugging in the power adapter, which sits closer to the front of the laptop than the rear. Somehow, I like my laptops more when the power adapter plugs in near one corner and stays out of the way. This is powered by the Intel Core i7-1185G7 processor, which is by far and away the most powerful chip for laptops and ultra portables right now. From my usage scenario and experience, the Msi Prestige 15 delivered what can safely be described as close to a seamless experience. This laptop does not break a sweat. The fans stay whisper quiet for the most part, though you will hear them clearly when they do spin up. As a daily driver with the ability to clock up for heavy workloads, the Prestige 15 seems more than eager to deliver. This laptop returns about 15 hours and 30 minutes of battery life when used for most daily workflow tasks, and even when the performance is dialed up a little bit, it still returns upwards of 9 hours of battery life. That's pretty much all-day battery life in a nutshell. This is a really powerful specification that you get, complete with the sort of stuff that will sit well in a company's IT department managed network. The privacy option for the webcam, for example, the fast charge for the battery, as well as Thunderbolt support for data transfers. In my opinion, the Msi Prestige 15 2021 edition is doing very well for the realignment that has gone on from it being a creator-specific laptop to something that's more for businesses and enterprises. It's doing very well on the fronts that matter the most: the performance, design, as well as the fact that it's quite rugged. It's the US military test standard spec ticked off, and you pretty much have a laptop that's meant for businesses. The thing is, Lenovo, HP and Dell suddenly have a very serious competitor in the business laptop space. It's all getting very excited in a category that usually always had extremely boring laptops to boast of.
Now, at the start of the show, we talked about electric vehicles, but how can we talk about electric vehicles without talking about Tesla? Now, Tesla cars, the cars made by Tesla, are one of the most talked about cars across the world, and they are electric. But what makes them so special? What is the reason behind all of this conversation, and are they even special in today's day and age? Well, Arjit Garg is listing out all the reasons up next.
Guess who has been making headlines lately? No points for guessing, it is Elon Musk, and this time for rather infamous reasons. First, it was the slew of autopilot crashes by Tesla cars, and then the company's latest tussle with cryptocurrency. But every time Tesla makes it to the news, we Indians only think of one thing: when will Tesla make its grand entrance in India? However, instead of talking about the company's India entry, which of course will happen in the due course, today we are here to refresh our memories on what makes Tesla so special brand. And no, Elon Musk is not the only reason. You see, Tesla has clearly done an Usain Bolt in the race to build the greenest and most fun vehicles, all thanks to the persistent vision of the founder Elon Musk. But to keep the brand rolling, they are offering new and exciting products. Let's discuss the reasons for Tesla's success. Now, the most important and long-lasting impact a brand can make in the market is through its product offering, because the revenue is generated from one and only one thing, and that is the actual product. In the case of Tesla, they are offering a full 100% electric portfolio, unlike any other brand globally, and that too with a diversified product mix. On one hand, you have the range-topping products like the Tesla Model S and the Model X, and on the other hand, you have products which are more affordable in nature like the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now, we will argue about their affordability some other day. Tesla is also working to offer some other exciting and path-breaking products like the Roadster and Cybertruck, which surprisingly has received more than a million bookings even before the actual product has hit the road. Now, for an electric vehicle to succeed, they have to surpass a hurdle stopping electric vehicles to conquer the world, and it is called range anxiety. To put it simply, unlike petrol and diesel powered cars, which can reach any fuel pump in case of low fuels, electric vehicles are still facing a battery charging issue as the EV chargers are not that widespread and the charging is slow as compared to refilling tank. For this purpose, it is of utmost importance that automakers add as much juice in the battery as possible. Case in point, the Tesla Model X offers 630-kilometer battery range, while the more affordable Model Y has 524-kilometer range. Now, these are some of the best figures globally. Now, in our opening, we mentioned how Tesla cars are infamous for autopilot crashes across the US. Bluntly put, it's the driver who is at fault most of the time any such incident occur. An autopilot or autonomous technology is being designed to assist the human driver in case of emergency, and that Tesla cars have proven time and again. Tesla has achieved level 2 autonomy in all its vehicles and will soon replace radar-based system with camera technology. However, like every technology has its demerits, autopilot is also turning out to be a fun game for many drivers, especially in the US. Despite warning from the maker and internal understanding of the autopilot, they leave it unattended for more than the desired duration, causing such accidents. Now, Tesla cars are not that affordable to own, and battery range only can't be a saving grace. What makes Tesla cars so cool is also the fact that they are being offered with some of the most technologically advanced features one can ever get in a car. Right from the massive touchscreen infotainment screen as large as 17-inch that also doubles up as a command center to integrated wireless gaming when you are stuck in the LA traffic. Tesla cars offer everything one can think of. And as far as features like panoramic sunroof, wireless charging are concerned, let's not even go there. Now, there's a large segment of naysayers who brush aside electric cars saying they are not fun to drive at all and they take away the mechanical fun of driving a vehicle. Honestly, they are not completely wrong. Electric cars are silent and they don't have gearboxes, but then they can't be called slow. In fact, makers like Tesla have proven time and again electric vehicles are much faster and quicker thanks to the instant torque. Model S can do 0 to 100 km per hour in under 2 seconds. That can put any supercar to shame and has a top speed of more than 300 km per hour. Not just that, Tesla is also working on a SpaceX package for the Roadster that can push the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 1.1 seconds. If that is not phenomenal, what else can be? So there you have our top 5 reasons why Tesla cars are so special, and no, Elon Musk is not the only reason.
Welcome back. You're watching the Tech and Auto Show and I'm your host Manav Sinha. Now, over the past few episodes, we've talked about cryptocurrencies, and one of the things that you can do in order to deal in cryptocurrencies is use platforms like WazirX. So, who better to tell us more about the world of cryptocurrencies than the founder of WazirX, who we got in touch with and had a special conversation. Take a look at how that went.
The world of cryptocurrencies has seen plenty of growth in recent times, buoyed by Elon Musk, Dogecoin, and a lot of other factors. But what's happening in India? What are the key reasons of growth? How does India plan to grow further, and will crypto become a viable investment lane in India? Answering all these questions is Nischal Shetty, founder of WazirX, one of India's biggest cryptocurrency indexes. Here's how our conversation went.
This month in May, it's going to be even larger than the last month. So the trend is continuing. And apart from the banking restriction being lifted, the global appreciation of crypto prices, and the lockdown creating a pool of new customers, I think the other things that affected were quite a few things. One is the institutional investors in the US entering crypto sort of gave confidence to retail customers in India and globally, because now you have large institutions you believe in. Like when a Tesla buys $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, or when a PayPal talks about it, Square talks about it. I think all of this is adding to investor confidence. The rate at which the number of new users are increasing, I think it's sort of hit that inflection point. If you look at the adoption of technology, there's always an inflection point, which gives rise to a hockey stick curve. And we seem to be at that inflection point, in India and globally, in terms of new users entering. So it's very hard to say whether this will sustain or not. But I think some of the indicators show there's a greater probability of this increasing even further. Because a lot of the if you look at the internet, for example, there's about 4.3 billion people on the internet, and despite this meteoric rise in the crypto ecosystem, it's still about 150 million people globally who are into crypto. In India, it's about 15 million people. So, and India has a large internet population.
Right.
So I think that's a large market that is yet to enter. So probably we'll see a larger number of people coming, in fact, in the next several months. For us, we'll solve these banking issues, for example. Why is it arising? It's because it's not regulated. Okay. If it was regulated, we would get access to the best of the banking infrastructure. Similarly, for user, there is to be user protection. For example, we've been in India for a long time. As a founder, I've been in front of people, so that's trust. But you cannot, always believe that there won't be any malicious actors creating companies in this sector and trying to go in the wrong direction. When the moment you have a regulator, you can put those checks and balances in place, ensure that exchanges are solvent, which again is not something that is being done today. So I think regulators are definitely needed. It's going to take time because if you look at the global regulatory landscape also, there's no country which has actually been able to crack this and say these are the regulators, this is what is happening. They're all in the whole exploratory stage, I would say. And that's what India is on the path of. It's a good thing the government has started talking about crypto now, and I'm sure they'll find a way to regulate it. But in the meantime, I think what all of us have done as exchanges is we've created a self-regulatory code of conduct that a group of us under BACC, the Blockchain and Crypto Council that we've created, if we are part of that, we have to follow these code of conduct. And that sort of helps protect consumer interests to a certain extent. Is the only negative thing that happened was the 2019 bill, the draft bill, which was by an independent committee that was created by the government. Now, whether they will accept that draft bill or not is something that only time will tell. But we still have some indicators because recently there was a news which said that the government sees that draft bill as outdated, and they are now setting up a brand new committee to create a new bill, which the most important thing of that is which will look at crypto as digital assets rather than a currency. So the bill of 2019 had the notion of crypto being currency. Right. So that bill, if you look at it, it only talks about crypto as a currency and why we should not allow it because we have our own fiat currency.
Right.
But if you're into crypto long enough, you understand that crypto assets, utilities are the other major factors of crypto. So this new committee that the Indian government is planning to form is focused on digital assets rather than the currency part. Right. And our finance minister this year in February also made a very important statement. She said India will take a calibrated approach. This is her words. India will take a calibrated approach towards crypto regulations. So that again gives us a lot of positive, I would say, feedback on this whole sector from the government. The no is where if your thought process is I can go and buy bread using crypto. I would say at least in India that would be a no because our INR really works beautifully, and we have UPI, for example, which is a 24/7 instant and free payment mechanism. Now you can't beat it instant and free. You can't go lower than that. But there are the yes part is two use cases on the internet that are today almost unviable using traditional payment mechanisms. For example, microtransactions on the internet. What if I could pay a very, very, very small amount, maybe 1/100th of a rupee to every like that I do on a post that I like. And that's not possible technically and even financially feasible on a traditional fiat, because you have these networks that will charge you even more. So the use cases that today do not exist as payment use cases on the internet due to unviability, or simply because it's not really doable because you have a global audience and you can't build payment rails in each country.
Right.
That is where I believe crypto will take over.
And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Tech and Auto Show. I hope you liked this episode. If there's anything you have to say, anything you want us to cover, you can reach out to us on our Twitter handles. If it's about technology, reach out to us at News18 Tech. If it's about automobiles, reach out to us at News18 Auto. And remember, by logging on to news18.com, you can read up more on both these industries. Well, that's about all for today. I'll catch you same time next week, only on CNN News 18.